Press conference a little bit. And we haven't played, we've kind of talked 3 times since we played last time. We haven't made any cuts or anything. So what are we going to talk about today anyway? All right? Why don't we just kind of start it off with that? We had a practice today. Since we talked, we had a great time Saturday night. You know, I've seen the guys in sweaty uniforms and, you know, in a little bit different environment. But to see all of our guys dress up, that's how we travel. When we travel, you'll see guys in coats, not all ties, but business, you know, like you would on a business trip. To see all of our players this weekend with their beautiful spouses and wives was pretty special for a great cause. But it is about football. And today we had a good practice. In an ideal world, you know, in training camp, you want to hit every, you know, situational ball. You know, one situation is going to come up that you don't get a chance to hit an awful lot is when it rains and pours, wet ball drills and all that. So that's what we were able to get in practice day at Storm, which was good. Had an excellent practice, but we realize what's coming up. Our roster is a lot larger right now than it will be starting tomorrow. That's a part of our game. Have a lot of players that have helped us get to this point that won't be with us going forward, but hopefully they can get on somewhere else. I don't just look at it, we just don't look at it as getting down to the 53 person squad. It's about 69, which is 16 practice squad players and the 1 international player. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We won't practice tomorrow, and we'll be back at it Wednesday. Your questions? It is difficult, but to me, in the end, there aren't hard decisions to make. It's a hard decision if we start making those decisions at the start of training camp, but now we've gone through all season, training camp, preseason. My first meeting, guys, show us who you are. We're watching everything that you do. So everybody's had a chance to do that. Now we'll make an informed decision based on all the information you can get, off the field, on the field, all of that. And I'm excited about where I think we'll end.
What have you learned the most about your team since the start of training camp to now?
I think just what we wanted to see was improvement. You know, I talk about the situations. We've gone through all of them. Anything that I think you need to do to prepare for a season, I think we've gone through. And what I've learned is that the guys have taken to it. They've been sponges. They've done everything we asked them to do. We competed in every way. Tough training camp practices, long hours meeting, and just guys buying into this is how we're going to do things, man. It's not a whole lot of compromise to that. This is how we're going to do it. We need you to get on board. And that's what they've done. Veterans, rookies, and all.
Are there any positions that you possibly hope to address, you know, after these cuts come out, you know, of course, with the tight end falling through, maybe tight end or any other positions?
This will be our approach throughout. We're going to set our roster up, but we're always looking to improve. Improving our ball club is constant. So are there areas where we know what we have here, but yes, we're looking to see who else is out there available too. That's a part of it. We have an excellent personnel staff been working tirelessly behind the scene. But as I said in the end, we'll know what we need to do.
Coach, I know what it's like from a business aspect, from a football aspect, from a humanistic aspect. How is it when you have to sit a young man down and tell him that, you know, he's no longer going to be with the Houston Texans? I
mean, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, we're all, you know, you feel for guys then. But I would feel worse if I'm kind of looking forward to all of the conversations because we all started at the same spot. And when you signed up for this, you knew that this was a part of it too. So, again, it's never any fun when you tell someone that right now we're going a different direction. But if they've done everything they're supposed to do and they can play, There's enough. There's 32 teams. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of us. I mean, I haven't only been at one team. So there's a spot for us. If you're good coaches and you're good players, there'll be a spot for you somewhere.
You've mentioned how vital the run game is to the philosophy of the team. As you organize that group, what's your philosophy on how many, how to carry load management throughout the year? How do you approach that with that being so important to your offense?
I mean, I'd like to go over all that. I just say we do have a plan. I mean, when you're a running team, just look at who we have on our roster right now. And when I say we're a running team, I'm not giving you anything. The team that we play open up the season, right here at NRG Stadium, they're a running team too. You know, their best football players there, you know, maybe they're running back. So they're a running team too. There's a lot of ways to do it, and we're going to look at all of the different ways that you can run the football. But when I say run the football and be physical, it's not like we're going to run the ball every play this year. Whether we win or we lose, eventually it's going to come down to the passing game. Our quarterback, Davis Mills, completing passes to our receivers.
Follow up on that. Talking about Davis Mills, a lot of this season is going to center around can Davis prove that he can be the guy long term? How confident are you that he can prove that he can be the guy long term for the Texans?
Guys, that you go back to, I don't think you can find an interview that I've done. I'm not at all. It's not gray. It's in black and white. I believe in him for good reason. I love him leading our team. We all had to perform this. I have to do my job. Every coach, every player has to do that. But we like the way we're going. Just like every other team around. No matter what happened last year, we all have to start over again. But I like the way we're starting off. And it does come down to the quarterback an awful lot. I think everything that you can do as a young quarterback that hasn't played a lot, he's done. And he's ready to take that next step. We're going to give him all the tools that we think are necessary for him to do well. And that's just not offensive. That's how we play defense and special team.
Do you think Damion Pierce has done enough to be the starter at running back?
Do I think Damion Pierce has done enough to be? And again, guys, it's not. I don't have a mask on how I feel about things. Damion Pierce has played good ball. Pretty much since he got on campus. No, it's not on campus, right? In the facility. How's that? He's not on campus anymore since he left campus. He's a good football player. Run with power. He can make you miss in the open field. He can catch the ball. He can do a lot of things that NFL running backs do. I'm sorry?
But hasn't done enough to be starter, though.
Yeah, I heard your question. I'm telling you, that's what I think about him right now. To be a starter, that would mean me. You want me to tell you if he's a starter or not?
Petrie was a starter, and Davis Mills.
I tell you Jalen Pitcher. That don't mean that I'd tell you everything else, though, right? Yeah, no. If I was going to tell you, I would have come out and said that. We're not naming any more positions. I think some of the things, since Jalen Petrie has been in the starting lineup the entire time he's here, that's an easy one, you know. But our running back position, I think you can see why we'll kind of wait for that.
Do you think that with one less preseason game, it doesn't give the not only you but coaches around the NFL enough to be able to make these type of decisions when it comes to the cuts?
No, I think 3 is a plenty. As you look at how teams have used the 4, back in the day, you had 4 preseason games. Most guys use 3 of the games to really evaluate. So I think 3's plenty. We have all the information we need. We didn't need any other, scrimmages against people to find out. The training camp practice that you have with 3 preseason games to me and all season, that's plenty to make decisions we need to make.
With Kenyan Green's debut, watching his development through training camp, after seeing that, did that dictate a little bit how y'all might organize your offensive line based on how ready he is after seeing him?
Well, yeah, but he and everybody else, guys, when you have a healthy group, you have healthy players. How do they perform? How do they compare with the rest of the guys in the group? I think it's as simple as that. Kenyan's a first-round draft pick for a reason. He has first-round talent, and there have been times when he's been out there, we've seen a lot of that. And he's healthy right now, ready to go, so we'll go from there. And we have, we don't play two guys for, did y'all get the schedule? We was about over 2 weeks, so we've got a little time before we play. The starting lineups and all that eventually will come out, and Indy probably wants to know the starting lineup a little bit too, but we'll just kind of keep some of that to ourselves until then.
Maybe a short-term injury reserve with the ability to place guys on there. Do you have a tough decision with some guys where maybe they're week 2, week 3, or week 1, and it's kind of a difficult way to gauge when's the guy ready to actually get back on the field if you need to use the IR?
Yes. Yes. You kind of answered the question. It is. I mean, some of the players that are good football players that play good ball for us and are injured right now, how we work those numbers to keep them on the roster. All of that goes into the 53, and that's what we're working on tirelessly right now. But in the end, I mean, we'll get that all worked out. And the players we feel like we need to win this year, not just short term, but long term for the entire year, that's what we'll go with.
This isn't your first rodeo, creating a 52-man roster. What are some of the lessons that you actually learned throughout your career, with scouting that can actually help you build the best 52-man roster?
What I've learned is that, we kind of know the rules early on what we have to, the numbers we have to get down to. You let the players know early, guys, eventually we got to get to this. Everything you do from now on, we're looking at. And nowadays, we video everything that the players do. And what I've learned is that, there's a gut feeling that you go with, backed up by information. And that's what we grade everything. And we've seen them in every environment. That's why I say in the end, I don't think the decisions are that hard. It becomes clear when you just let guys start playing. Rookies, you don't know. You let them come in. You start comparing them. And they kind of tell you. So that's what, and I'm looking back on, it's not my first rodeo. And that's what I felt, going in, hard cuts. But in the end, it's pretty clear on what you need to do.
With three preseason games back after the draft, you hinted in the way that you can on this. I know you probably can't say too much, but you'd hinted that with Stingley and Petrie, you're excited about the things you might be able to do with the secondary. How have you seen that through 3 preseason games and organizing that group and what you might be able to do, just organizing that?
I think they're both talented players that have a great intellect for football, and they get it. They picked up everything quickly, and just not what we've done. We've been pretty based with what we've done in the preseason, but with everything else. That's what I've seen from them. They're football guys. They're hungry. A lot of rookies are hungry. And our rookies really are. So just don't think we're going to be limited with what we do with them. I don't think we're going to have to adjust what we would like to do either based on the amount of rookies that we play. If we play a rookie, we're saying that he can take everything and he's ready to go. And I think we're going to have a few that will be in that position.
Thank you.
Thank you.